Welcome everybody to Nexus Commentaries. I didn't say too much this time before I unmuted myself
Solid.
because it was not worse than usual. So we've got Division II Cheer League playoff action tonight. I believe we are in the quarterfinals tonight. Our first game tonight is going to be Snitches Get Stitches, a personal favorite of mine, versus Base Gods, who I've not had the pleasure of who we've not had the pleasure of casting just yet. So this is brand new for us. And
But they got the backing of Little B, so we're good there.
they do have the backing of the Base God himself, unless he's taken offense and cursed them.
It's true.
It's true. Remember, James Harden got cursed for doing the kitchen dance.
Yeah.
So
You got to protect these guys.
we do. They are precious people. However, it's really hard to come up against the portrait synergy that Snitches Get Stitches always displays.
Yeah, that's some very solid Stitches synergy on their side, and as we know, they've got quite the Stitches on their side. I believe 2 people can play Stitches on their team, and both very effective.
Yeah, they come by their name honestly. So I'm always looking, but never mind. Stitches is a tier 4 hero.
That I don't agree with, but maybe for solo queue.
Yeah, maybe for solo queue. So, but yeah,
We're getting the game together. We're just waiting on one more from Stitches. Snitches Get Stitches.
you're never
Look.
gonna get
Not
it,
on
and
the
I've
first
just
try.
I've just accepted it at this point.
I'll never get it on the first try. But yeah. Anyways, we have some great, exciting action coming up for you. We thank you for hanging out in Nexus Commentaries. If you want to hit that follow button, that would be great. And yeah, hopefully we'll get this rolling soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon. So, how are you doing tonight? What are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh, the regular old action-packed chair league that we get sometimes. I like it when it's chaotic. I like it when games go to 3 sets. Hopefully we'll get a lot of that tonight. Some real close matches, some fun stuff to call.
Indeed, and Snitches Get Stitches honestly hasn't disappointed us at all. This in the games we've casted with them. There's Jamster.
Yep. And yeah, definitely. And now they've got the wonderful addition of Kel'Thuzad to mess around with. So I'm sure that's going to be fun if they're able to put those 2 together.
Oh, definitely. Kel'Thuzad's just an absolute nightmare, and if you're even halfway competent. I had to play him in a brawl tonight, and I was messing around with the brawl. And, yeah, no, I should never touch Kel'Thuzad at all, ever. it was... I just waited every 20 seconds to hit Shadow Fissure. That's all I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, this does a lot of damage. I'm not going to hit anything else.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a very difficult hero to use, but he has definitely, or he has a very high ceiling as well. It's worth putting the work in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I can't, because I believe he's going to be legal during HGC, the tournament. I don't think he's legal this week, but I think the next week, which is the open tournaments, I believe he's legal. So
that'll be week 10.
Oh, will it be week 10?
Yeah. There's 2 more weeks of HGC before the before the playoffs. Yeah, we got this weekend and the following weekend.
Okay. Well, still, it should be incredibly interesting to see what teams and how they utilize him.
Definitely. Yeah, he's been very fun to play against each other, I'm sorry. He's been very fun to play against, but he's also frustrating. He's the kind of hero that can be very, very difficult to lane against, especially. So we're all kind of learning how to deal with Kel'Thuzad at the moment. Hopefully, the pros will adjust and show us the way at some point, because right now he feels very, very good in the right hands.
Yeah, he feels filthy in the right hands.
Yeah. That's what I did the first time, SGS, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to continue to try to get Snitches, get Stitches correct. Just not on the first try. Yeah, I think we're ready.
Yeah. Casters are ready. We're seeing if the teams. Oh, there's some issues with the voice comms on. Once he press F5 to download the map faster. Dropping them Brood War memes on people's heads in chat. Press F5 to download the map faster. Go. I used to spend, like back in the day for like vanilla StarCraft and Brood War, I'd just sit in a channel. I'd just sit in a lobby, and everyone who would just show up and go, I'd just kick them. That's all I would do for like 15, 20 minutes, and it would just entertain me.
That's pretty pretty trolly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on in chat, but hey.
I don't know.
Okay.
Jimmy, are you okay?
Oh, I think he's trying to set hotkeys, but he maybe accidentally did it in chat.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Jimmy's confusing people here.
He that one shot right over my head as well. I was, what? Jimmy, buddy, are you okay? Are we seeing a live hack of Jimmy's computer?
Right. So we'll be getting underway here shortly. We're just working on a comm issue. We appreciate you hanging out while we get this sorted. Feel free to hit the follow button. We appreciate the follows. Trying to stay strong and continue to bring you Heroes amateur action every week. So,
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. We definitely enjoy the amateur scene as it provides some of the most entertaining games that I think you'll ever watch. And that's if you want accuracy and precision and surgical skill, you go watch HGC. If you want to see two teams ripping into each other for 15, 20 minutes, you watch the amateur scene, because that's what goes down. That is the fun right there.
And that's not to say that there's no precision and skill here, because there definitely are some very, very skilled players in Chair League. It's just you tend to get those blow-ups all over the map a little more often, which can be a lot of fun.
Oh,
and it looks like we're getting started, so the comm issue must have been sorted out. On the blue side, we'll have Snitches get Stitches, and on the red side, we'll have Base Gods. So, I expect a Kel'Thuzad ban out of Snitches get Stitches.
Yeah, and this is the smart way to go about either forcing them to ban Kel'Thuzad or letting him through.
Yeah, he might be kind of a prove-it-to-me hero right now in some people's eyes, but you never know. He just feels really strong right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go that road with the ban, but there might be something else that might break up a strategy they have, so they might just let Kel'Thuzad through. Obviously, Base Gods, we can see a ban the Dahaka, so taking away that global on Cursed Hollow with that good initiation, probably a good pickup, or probably a good idea to ban him if you didn't plan on taking him as your first pick, because this is one of the maps he's very strong on.
Oh yeah, Dahaka is just, especially large maps, Dahaka just excels in so hard. It's so hard to just deal with that damn bug.
Yeah, that global presence all over the map can be frightening. Hovering and choosing to ban Alaric. Okay.
I feel like we're gonna just see. I feel like, yeah, there it is.
And yeah, I mean that doesn't surprise me. Kel'Thuzad's really, really strong. He's just got so many tools for slowing and rooting, and he's just a real pain to deal with. And tack on the fact that he can do a ton of damage, it makes him very dangerous.
Yeah, he is. He is incredibly dangerous and someone who is even remotely skilled, like I said before. But he has no escape, and he's very, very squishy.
We see the Anubarak get locked in on the side and followed by the Greymane. Anubarak Greymane, a very popular combination, especially here on Cursed Hollow. The initiation into the Tribute for disruption. Greymane's Cocktail's very good at stalling out. And obviously the damage Greymane brings to a team fight is always valued.
And it's two dive heroes on that can deal with Kel'Thuzad very quickly. Ooh, this has just got personal, I feel like. See Garrosh and Stukov.
Base Gods embracing the new meta, picking the three most recently released heroes. So got some Garrosh, Kel'Thuzad, and Stukov action.
And all these heroes do work really well together.
Oh yeah, Blizzard's been on a roll with their hero releases lately. They've all been coming out pretty strong and making an impact on the meta almost immediately. So it's nice when that happens.
Definitely is, and I can already kind of see what they're trying to go with here. They've already got a very nasty combo lined up between Garrosh and Kel'Thuzad, and all Kel'Thuzad has to do is just land a chain. If Garrosh gets a throw backwards, they're going to be hugging a tower.
And don't forget the silence pool that Stukov brings to the equation, being able to trap people in certain areas, especially if you know where you're going to toss them. If they land in a silence pool, it takes away a lot of very mobile heroes' escape options. So you have to consider that now when you're picking your hero. Someone like Tracer is definitely not as slippery as she was.
Very interesting ban on the side of Snitches Get Stitches in banning out the Illidan just now. They are looking to shut down the pseudo global from the man with a lot of anger issues.
Well, not only that, as well, Illidan pairs very well with Garrosh and Stukov and Kel'Thuzad, because a lot of the times Illidan's job is to dive in, and it puts him in some danger at situations. When you have someone like Garrosh or Kel'Thuzad who can slow and isolate a hero for you through, whether it be the toss, the stuns, the slows, the roots, it makes Illidan's job that much easier. So maybe they were just kind of concerned about handing over something that could hyper carry like that.
Yeah, and this kind of tips what base gods are looking to do here towards the end of the draft with that mouth ale ban. They're definitely tipping a double tank setup here, and they do already have a lot of damage in Kel'Thuzad, though I'd like to see them get backed up by another damage dealer.
Yeah. Malthael is very good. It could have just been a ban, just taken away a really good hero they didn't plan on taking, but odds are I would expect them to take another tank, but we've seen crazier things. It could be just, Cho'Gall next.
It could, yeah. Oh, God. Don't do that.
Not on Cursed Hollow, obviously.
Well, we said that about Sky Temple, and look what happened.
That's fair. We see Falstad and Rhaegar coming in on the side of Snitches Get Stitches, and just, very solid picks for Cursed Hollow. You need a support. Rhaegar fills pretty much any team as your solo support. He's great. Ancestral healing, the totems, the slows, the movement speed that he gets off of his wolf form, the leap in for the attack to isolate, different things. He has a lot of options as a support, and obviously Falstad with the global and the best ultimate in the game, and Gus being able to be very defensive or offensive, depending on the situation.
Yeah, okay. Why am I here? You literally laid out everything good about that, about those two picks right there. I mean, Rhaegar has definitely seen a stock rise in recent weeks with the last balance patch. Nerfing Ariel a bit seemed like it was a bit too much against her, and so you got very what's the word I'm looking for? Utilitarian heroes like Rhaegar who can do multiple things, and this is Jimmy.
Arthas and Raynor. You see, I really like Raynor right now. I think he does a very good job against certain heroes, and Greymane, Falstad, Malthael fall into that category of heroes he does exceptionally well against. He's also fairly decent at putting damage on the tank. I think Jim Raynor is a very underrepresented hero these days, and I don't think he's bad at all. At least not he's not given credit enough for how good he is. And obviously Arthas is just, he's Arthas. He's great. Slows, attacks, big damage, big roots.
Yeah, definitely the best counter initiator in the game right now.
Yeah, for sure. You kind of shut down that option of them going with something very, very dive heavy at this point because they've already got Greymane and Anubarak, and you don't want to feed into that Arthas even more.
You're absolutely correct. Seems we got a very big Base Gods fan in chat.
Unaverted, thanks for hanging out. Hit that follow button if you like. We try to bring you amateur games every week. Medivh. So this is the first time I believe we've casted Snitches Get Stitches where they didn't take Stitches when he wasn't banned away. So,
I feel like you're right. I feel like you're right. But
I was almost sure.
I love this Medivh. I love this last pick Medivh. It gives them so many more options for the dive heavy comp that they have. Like,
oh yeah,
Greymane goes in with the shield, gets taken out, or goes out with the portal. There's just a lot of absolutely Jamster. Shame on you, Jamster, breaking up the synergy right there.
Oh yeah, a little portrait faux pas with that. Maybe he changed it while he was doing solo stuff and forgot to change it back because we were running a bit behind and they had comm issues. We'll give him a pass, is what I'm saying.
I guess.
Medivh also just being very effective with Leyline Seal, by the way. It's a great ultimate, especially on Cursed Hollow, where you got to fight in all those nooks and crannies when you're trying to get to or away from the tribute on an engage or a disengage. Leyline Seal can really disrupt your plans because it allows the team to set up for some big damage.
Yeah, it definitely does. As Jimmy and myself saw one week, a really good Leyline Seal can just shift the course of an entire game.
Yeah, definitely.
It is definitely an ability that you definitely don't want to sleep on. Though they do lack, I think, they do have the stun from Anubarak, but they don't have any kind of giant follow-up that you're looking for, unless this Falstad's going Hinterlands.
Possibly. Cursed Bullet's always a great follow-up, though, especially when they're frozen and you can guarantee a hit. But anyways, we have the blue team, which is Snitches Get Stitches. And on the Anubarak, we have Bandito. On Greymane, we have Speed Demon. On Rhaegar, we have Majesty. On Falstad, we have Spectrama. And on Medivh, we got Jamster.
And on the other side of the map, we've got the Base Gods, blessed by Little B himself. Forever Zero is going to be on that. Who is that?
Yeah, that's a Garrosh. I'm sorry.
Garrosh.
No, that's Arthas.
Arthas. I have not recognized that skin. We got Medieval on Kel'Thuzad. Stukov's on Forever Zero. We'll get this right at some point. Medieval's on the Kel'Thuzad. Ezreal is on the Garrosh, looking to grab that bird and throw him back, but doesn't get the grab. Kel'Thuzad throwing out the Death and Decay, but they do grab a bug and decide to throw him back in the team, but he just burrow charges away, and we've just got teams just throwing skills back and forth right now.
Yeah, the early engagement's always fun. A little bit of trading, a little bit of chippiness, trying to figure out what the other team's trying to do. We're seeing a rotation up to the top by both teams. Raynor and Garrosh are following the Medivh, and a Greymane up top.
I am very curious to see how this Raynor is going to work out.
Yeah, Raynor is a hero. He can feel a little weak late or early in the game, but late game he can really get going and provide a valuable asset of burst damage and sustain damage, whether he decides to, depending on which ultimate he decides to go with.
Right, and he has decided to go for a Seasoned Marksman at 1, so he's going to be looking to get those stacks.
Yeah, pretty common on the Raynor path to be looking for that. See some pushback in both lanes, in all 3 lanes. Nothing really too much exciting at the moment. Just a lot of people trying to collect experience and progress the game while not falling behind.
Definitely in mid right here as we're watching. Looks like Kel'Thuzad chaining the Bug 2 tower, and that's got to be annoying at some point. Where you,
Oh yeah, it's frustrating to deal with, especially when you think you got him, or he chains you to his own tower.
yeah,
Very good at disengaging himself with those chains and being able to reset his cooldowns to apply some more damage and pressure.
we do see base gods taking their vision. They're gonna move up to this camp, the siege camp, and quickly take it. As we see Greymane on the other side of the map doing the same real quick. Speed Demon quickly shredding that. He's going to top off, and no, he's not going to top off. I was wrong.
Going back in and grabbing that vision, doesn't need the health quite yet. He's just going to go hop in a lane with Rhaegar and get topped off likely.
Yep, and that's exactly what happens. Throws some of that good Ghanalian alcohol in Rainer's face. Have another Yolush.
And we're going to have the tributes spawning near the bottom lane, right next to Falstad and Kel'Thuzad down there. All the teams making their way down there, except Raynor, who's staying top to deal with the siege camp.
And
an unlucky spawn for base gods.
Yeah, but Bandito just going, and he wanted to grab that real quick, but Falstad in a lot of trouble, gets thrown back, chained to Jamster, and he goes down. First blood to the base god. Bandito goes in. He's looking for a revenge kill, but it's not going to happen. He gets the shield and hits the portal just in time. Pops his own shield, throws a stun out, and they're looking to pull him back in, and they do get it. The Q from Garrosh right there, sealing the deal, and throws Greymane in, making it look a little easy right there with that Q accuracy. Waldo, and they didn't even need that Raynor. That Raynor got so much value just now.
Yeah, with the experience soak and the extra plot applications of Seasoned Marksman, he's in a much better spot than he was about a minute ago. And yeah, Speedster was, or Speed Demon, I'm sorry, was probably a little bit overzealous face checking that bush so close to the tribute. And we see Kel'Thuzad getting a chain off, putting Bandito right up against Jamster. Jamster gets the portal down. They're going to get out, but just in the nick of time because the damage was coming heavy on Medivh.
Yeah, and Jamster's still not exactly out of danger just yet. Oh, that stun was clutch, though.
Yeah, saved him from Kel'Thuzad, probably going in to try and apply the lethal damage, and Medivh being able to escape, and is going to come back and try to assist Anub'arak and pushing off Kel'Thuzad from taking out this lane. Arthas is just really, really strong in front of him.
Ooh, Anub'arak gets pulled in by the glacial spike from Kel'Thuzad just now. Medieval's going to back, so is Direct. It looks like they might just be giving this up, but if we watch Garrosh just now, he's in a good spot to maybe spot out any rotation.
We got Spectrama and Speed Demon up close. They're being kind of poked away from the tribute. Now we have the entire team rotating up from Snitches gets Stitches. Kel'Thuzad hits the chain for the rocks on Falstad and Anub'arak. Anub'arak trying to dive in. Speed Demon taking a lot of damage. He's going to back out and hit the portal just in time to get out. Bandito trying to get back on the back line, putting the damage on Arthas. The stun goes out. Arthas is coming in. He's got a lot of damage from his aura, his ice aura, doing a lot of damage. Garrosh gets in. He throws on the damage onto Anub'arak, and Anub'arak goes down.
Yeah, the rest of Snitches and Stitches got to be incredibly careful at this point. Probably the best bet is going to be able to just, I don't know, just give it up. Be it Waldo giving the Worgen a parting shot to the butt on his way behind the gate just now. And base guy's looking very, very strong right now. I'm kind of sad I hadn't picked these guys to cast earlier in the year. These guys have got it together.
Yeah, they're looking very strong with complete control of the map. I'm going to mute for a second while the dogs go insane.
Bark, bark, hit the Franker Z if you're in chat. And we see that Falstad did get caught by the Kel'Thuzad just now, getting stunned up and just obliterated. And we see that this fort is pretty much dead at this point. nothing that Snitches Get Stitches could really do to prevent that. Greymane did take that camp, though. Majesty in a bit of trouble, gets chucked behind the gate. You hate to see this kind of thing happen. And Shadow Fissure from Kel'Thuzad finishes the job. Just wonderful presence of mind right there to capitalize on that toss by Garrosh. And this is pretty much a free curse at this point for base guys. There's nothing they can really do.
Yeah, that was very well played.
Yeah, Garrosh going in on Bandito, and Garrosh maybe trying to position himself for another throw. He has taken into the fray. We should see some very clowny plays here later on, as this fort up top is going to be in a lot of trouble. Nice brute onto the Foster right there, followed by the Shadow Fissure, and summon Syndragosa comes out.
The buildings are frozen, so they're going to take this advantage they have right now and try to take out these towers with the curse also on top of it. I guess it didn't matter too much that the buildings were frozen. We see the damage come out on the Falstad from Arthas, just soaking in. Falstad soaking up a ton of that damage, goes down. Right now we got Garrosh in a lot of trouble. He goes down. The counter push, or the counter push, yeah, is coming out from Indeed, lays down the portal so they can dive on the back line. Leyline Seal comes out. We got 2 trapped. The Kel'Thuzad goes down, taking a lot of damage. The Anub'arak coming in with a stun, making sure the kill goes through. Greymane's chasing the backline, putting a lot of damage on Arthas. Arthas is not going to get away from this.
Oh, are we going to see a gust? No, we're not, but it does look like Stukov is going to go down eventually. The gust does come out. Just the BM gust, as we see the white box pop up again for the kill.
Oh, yeah.
Clearing my cache did not work. It
That's
took my
a bummer.
cache.
No. We were hoping to get that resolved this week, but we'll have to maybe report it to Blizzard. Anyways, we have SGS down bottom taking their boss. That was a great turnaround right there for SGS. They really needed that because there was so much pressure coming in, and if they would have lost that fight, the things would look a lot different right now.
And we do see both bosses. They are being taken. However, base guys are a little bit slower at taking their own, and it does look like they're going to try to come in and just get some more pressure towards that mid lane. But I like this decision from base guys. They're going to try to push with this. They still got that top vision, and if they get a key pick, that is a very dead Rhaegar right there. Oh, nice root. The gust, it does nothing. And that is a very dead dog.
Yeah, it couldn't have come out at a good time because Kel'Thuzad already had the chain down in his path. There was no saving Rhaegar there. And the boss is marching through, and they have a 4v5 advantage.
And now the summon Syndragosa comes out once again.
This time with the freeze, those towers aren't going to be able to put any damage on the boss, giving you a fairly healthy boss to march to the core.
Yeah, I don't know if they can take core with this, though, but they're certainly going to try to do it. The bird gets, the bug gets tossed. The boss is pounding away at this core. The Hyperion does come out. Leyline lands onto 3. Not much follow-up, though, in return. And Anub'arak goes in on the back line, but it's him versus the world. It seems like D-Rex is just trying to get as much damage as he can on the core, and they're going to push this back. Raynor does get thrown back, and then Greymane, here comes a gust. Gust onto the KT.
Kel'Thuzad. Yeah, Kel'Thuzad's gonna go down. That was a beautiful play by Speed Demon down there too. Not only protect the core from the boss, but also secure a kill on Arthas, turning that whole fight around.
Right, and that could, though, I will give base guys a lot of credit on that. That could have went a whole lot worse for them.
Oh yeah, they aggressively pushed with their boss and got, they got 41% off the core. That's very valuable, especially in the late game if you get in a situation where you have to race.
Yeah, and there we see base guys taking their night camp at the moment, as Raynor has decided he's gonna take the siege camp.
Yeah, Jimmy doing his work down in the bottom lane, taking out the siege camp, and we have SGS moving in synchrony with base gods, both taking their night camps.
And Garrosh doing his best to get this wave cleared out in the top, taking care of the siege camp. But we do have 4 mid.
Yeah, we got 4v2 mid right now, so if they decide to push with this night camp, they might be able to get a little bit of value, but they'd have to watch the rotation from Garrosh and Stukov.
That is correct, but it looks like Bandito's maybe setting up for a dive. They're all setting up for a dive, it looks like. Falstead hiding in that little corner right there. But next tribute is going to spawn in the bottom. Favorable spawn for Snitches get Stitches. They are down 16, though, so they got to be really careful right here. And, oh, Bandito gets pulled, and Medieval is in a lot of trouble. Gus comes out. They're going to get the KT, but he does get the Shadow Fissure off, and Nubrak is going to get popped. A nice Howling Blast on a 2, followed by the Ancestral Healing. Oh, that
Leyline
is
Seal
on 3, but it does nothing. Looks like Medivh may get. Oh, he does get out. A great totem right there from Rhaegar right there saves the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's like you pointed out earlier, they don't have a lot of follow-up to the Leyline Seal. It doesn't seem like they're able to get the damage off that they want. They were able to isolate the Kel'Thuzad there, but they ended up losing the fight and the tribute. And now we're seeing base gods march bottom. They're going to try and take out these towers.
And Syndragosa, oh, it's not up. I thought it was, but no, it's down for another 55 seconds. So they're not going to, I don't think they're going to get as much value as they want out of this siege camp. If they had Syndragosa, that very well could have been a keep, I think.
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely a lot easier when those towers aren't firing shots at you.
Yeah, they got to be careful, though, because Greymane is definitely not with them. There was 3 catapults top, and they had to clear that out because that would have been a very, very, very nasty problem.
Yeah, and we see them moving late to the tribute. It's going to be interesting to see if they can get there. It looks like they're electing to just kind of give it up because they know they don't have the position and they have to deal with this top lane still.
They're
kind of waiting on boss.
Yeah, they're definitely, and that's pretty much the only call you can make. The boss has spawned, but they're playing very, very cautiously around it.
Yeah, they can't really afford to go boss because they have the option to counter and just push the core. So they can't really afford to give up the time it takes to get the boss because they could very well lose the game in that time.
Yeah.
They know they're there on their night camp, and there isn't much they can do about it at the moment. They're just trying to harass them off and make sure they don't come in for the push, but the root goes down on Bandito. He takes a lot of damage. You see the Leyline Seal come out, trapping 3. And Nubrak dives into the back line, but he's in no man's land. He gets tossed back into his teammates, and we see the portal come down. Now the chase is on, trying to pin down Waldo, but Waldo's out on his angry cloud, and whole lot of hype and not much happened, but we do see the siege camps and the catapults putting a lot of damage on the core, and I don't know if Snitches get Stitches have noticed it yet. Okay, there we go. Falstad's coming in to try and clear this up a little bit, but the damage is done. They're going to lose some percent ticks on their core.
Yeah, and without Falstad there, this is a really risky position for Snitches get Stitches to try and contest this boss play, but the Syndragosa does come out again. So much damage out of the Kel'Thuzad. Oh my god, followed up by the Shadow Fissure. Just melts the other team.
With the boss and 3 deaths, there's no way they can stave off the pressure that Base Gods is about to apply, so I don't want to call it GG, but I'm going to call it GG.
Well, they do have Falstad. Falstad can delay it just for a little bit with the gust, but with that boss and everybody else on the core and Rhaegar going down, I believe you're right. That's going to be game 1 going to Little B's favorite, the Base Gods.
Base Gods playing with a lot of intensity in that set. They had a plan from the start, and it revolved around Kel'Thuzad, and Kel'Thuzad was a pain to deal with that entire game. And we saw that Raynor put in a lot of work. He was cleaning up people. As I said, he does very well against a lot of heroes, especially Greymane, though. He can kind of match Greymane's damage, and he has a little more sustain than Greymane sometimes. So very interesting to see Raynar get picked and excel so well. But it also doesn't surprise me. I think he's a slept-on hero. I don't think he's top tier, but I think he's very good.
Yeah, you just never expect to see. You never expect to see a Rainer. He's just been out of the meta for so long that it was a brilliant pick in my opinion. The Hyperion brought a lot of team fight control as
Yeah,
well as a lot of it's just a lot of poke damage, just sustained damage. So
yeah, you can't afford to fight against that or fight inside of it anyways and give him a free advantage, and that can create all kinds of tricky situations. Looks like we're going to Infernal Shrines for game 2. We're going to get that set up here in just a moment. Our ops person had to reset his client. I'm going to inform him that it's Infernal Shrines.
yeah, but once again, thank you for joining us tonight. We are Nexus Commentaries. I am Zexorus. With me is my good buddy Balrog fan. If you like what we're doing, please hit the follow button. We do have a sub button. If you feel like hitting that too, go right ahead. We'll have a sweet little emote here coming up real soon. But yeah, we appreciate everybody who's watching tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in for this Division 2 Chair League action.
Yeah, we really appreciate how much support we've already gotten, and just continue to receive from you guys. It's really shocking and a great thing. We're glad that we're able to do this for you, and it seems to be enjoyed. So I'm just very happy that we get to do this. I really am. So
Yeah,
we're getting the game set up right now. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I didn't have really anything that important to say at this time. Just looks like we'll be getting going soon. Or Obs decided he wanted a drink. Lucky guy. He's allowed to get up.
I need to do that. I'm hoping there's time in between. In between games.
So we're informing the teams that we are ready to get going, and we will get into the draft here very, very shortly.
So yeah, I think Snitches Get Stitches had a strategy there, and I'm not quite sure what it was, but I definitely feel like they're not going to let a Kel'Thuzad go through first pick if it's on them again, if they're in that situation, because he's just so strong.
Yeah, you the first game is there's a saying, the first game is data.
Yeah.
Clearly they have a good Kel'Thuzad.
So if you don't plan on taking Kel'Thuzad, you have to ban him. I feel very strongly about that because Kel'Thuzad is just he's over the moon right now with his abilities.
Yeah, if you're diamond and above, ban Kel'Thuzad, because if the other team gets a hold of him, he will wreck you. If you're platinum and below, ban Kel'Thuzad, because whoever picks him on your team is just going to ruin your experience.
Yep. That's
there's no middle ground here at this point.
Yeah, that's not even an exaggeration. It feels like for people who have played in Heroes League. I'm sure you know the pain.
Yeah. I am undefeated in my placements, though.
Nice. Big
1-0.
Woo. So we're just waiting to see who they lock out. They're banning Alaric again. I guess they
That now
they're afraid of. And then they immediately ban Kel'Thuzad. Base Gods isn't having that, and I don't blame them. You don't give Kel'Thuzad away.
no.
He's just the tier 1 pick right now in the right hands.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that instant ban right there. It was. I do feel like the Alarak ban is a bit targeted. Like they've had to have played base gods in the past, and Alarak must have done just violent things to them.
Yeah, that's very possible. It does seem like they don't want to give that one away, being first ban, and it's an interesting first ban because it's not a character you see prioritized very often. So maybe Base Gods just has a really, really good Alaric on their side, and like you said, no sense in letting that through. Right now, Snitches trying to figure out what they want to start with, and it is Garrosh. Garrosh being a very strong hero. We saw him in the last game on the side of Base Gods, tossing people around and setting up plays. Garrosh is arguably the best solo tank in the game right now.
He has two dispositions on abilities that have very low cooldowns, and that is a lot of control to start off with that level 1. It's just the ability to punish any melee hero who walks up trying to hit a tower is just completely invaluable, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And his ability with armor and allows him to stick around in fights. There's a lot of times you think you might have gotten a kill on Garrosh, and he just slips between your fingers because of that armor passive.
We see Stukov and Malthael, and I definitely do not hate those picks. Those are two really strong picks right there.
No, and we see what the kind of value Base Gods put on Flailing Swipe and Stukov. They use that for their disengage so often, or to create the space they needed to set up. It was used sparingly, but when they did use it, it was very important to their positioning. So I think they might rely on that Stukov a little bit, and it's nothing you can really first ban if you're worried about Alaric and Kel'Thuzad already. But yeah. Stukov and Malthael just very, very strong heroes right now.
Yeah, they definitely are. And like you said, we saw the Stukov play to great effect last game, and Malthael will just put in so much work around these shrine fights. So we're gonna see there. We see the Ariel and Lunara, and honestly, I like that combo. Ariel, a great battery, or Lunara is a great battery for Ariel, and Ariel still, I mean, despite her nerfs, isn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a little early to show that combination of support and assassin, because you really telegraph what you're going to do, and you've given Base Gods a lot of time to respond, because what beats that, right? Dives. So they immediately respond by banning. Oh, well, it looks like they're going to choose Dahaka to ban, but I thought they were going to ban Arthas, who is, one of the best counter divers in the game. So,
well, to be fair,
maybe they won't employ that.
Dahaka is also fairly not as, I don't think as he's as good as Arthas. They may be looking to pick the Arthas themselves and just run that Syndragosa strat again. But Dahaka, it would also be really good in stuffing that kind of dive comp with the drag and everything like that.
Yeah, I honestly think you might have nailed it on the head. I'm pretty certain we'll see an Arthas pick on the side of Base Gods next, along with another hero. And don't forget Malthael, yes, he's a tank shredder, but he's also very good at diving on the back line. So
yes.
He has options for how you want to play him. Obviously, the goal is to put as much damage on the biggest group that you possibly can, but sometimes you make that choice between taking the safe sustained damage on the tank or jumping back to that Lunara. So, and we see the Arthas ban from Snitches get Stitches. I think that was probably a very good ban, because it wouldn't have surprised me if Base Gods took him. Instead, they
love it.
Diablo, yeah. Diablo's great. He's just such a fun hero. And Greymane. So Greymane offering both options of dive and sustained range damage.
Hear me out. I want to see Stitches out of Snitches get Stitches.
No, I think you're absolutely correct. They need to go back to what wins them games, and it seems to be Stitches before, but maybe they've kind of replaced Stitches with Garrosh now at this point.
He is kind of Stitches-esque in his ability to pull heroes back, but like I think they're gonna need a really beefy front body up there.
Yeah.
And with Chew, his E, Stitches his E, he can kind of nullify at least a bit of that Reaper's Mark, even for a minute.
Yeah, definitely. It would help, but won't have to wait long to see what they get, and they're going with Varian and Lily. Lily is really good at countering what they have. Malthael and Greymane do not want to have to deal with Lily, and Diablo doesn't like being blinded much either.
Yeah, not as much though. But again, Stukov is on the table, so if you can even stop Lily for a second from hitting Q, pressing E, it gives you enough time. Now, see, this is a Medivh pick I like. They've got the follow up to the ley line.
Yeah.
They've got the APOC, they've got the Tormented Souls, and Greymane will just absolutely obliterate whoever he gets his paws on.
Yeah, that's very true. The follow-up to Leyline Seal would be very real, so they need to try and dodge those. I'm a big fan of the Lily pick. I think she's going to do a lot of work in this matchup, though.
Yeah, Lily's going to be a problem. She is, and we've mentioned this before, Lily is such an early game bully.
Yeah. Yeah, her presence in lane, it's very hard to push her off of her spot with her ability to seemingly endlessly heal herself and just constantly throw whirlwinds at you. You feel like you can't really get anything done against her. And she really excels when there's two supports. So with her and Ariel, she'll be freed up to probably go Water Dragon. And Water Dragon's a devastating ability when it hits a hero who's used to being able to move away quickly, because that slow is very, very punishing, and it does a good job of dealing with somebody like Greymane.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think whoever Garrosh throws, they're gonna get hit by that dragon, and Lunara is just gonna clean them up.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Base Gods looks so dominant in Game 1. It's going to be on Snitches to prove that they can hang with Base Gods. And speaking of Snitches get stitches, they are on the blue side. And on Varian, we have Bandito. On Garrosh, we have Speed Demon. On Lunara, we have Jamster. On Ariel, we have Majesty. And on Lily, we have Spectrama.
And on the side of Base Gods, we've got Forever Zero reprising his role as Stukov, Direk on the Malthael, Waldo on the Greymane, Ezreal on the Diablo, and Medieval on the Birdman himself. Put some respect on that name, Medivh.
And the gates are open, and we're ready to get this underway. Both teams piling to the mid, as is tradition.
Now, they got to be careful here because Varian, remember, he's not a real boy until he hits level 10. So,
yeah, I feel like at least once he gets 4 with the shield wall, if they elect to go that route, he at least has the ability to have a presence in fights and be disruptive. But yes, early on he's a little bit rough to use.
Yeah, they try to go onto the Stukov just now, but Varian eats a silence from the arm, and Varian called it earlier. Varian goes down very, very quickly.
Yeah, he got stuck in that silence pool and couldn't get out. He couldn't activate any of his abilities to help him escape and move out of that position, and he was melted down immediately.
Yeah, but Waldo's got to be careful. Garrosh could come in and pull him in just like that. What happens to Azrael? But they do have the Medivh, so all he's got to do is drop that portal, and he is good to go.
I do want to point out that our chat let us know that Jamster fixed his portrait, and now they have full portrait synergy, so that could be the boost that Snitches Get Stitches needed.
You're absolutely right, but you got to note, Base Gods did fix their portrait synergy as well. They're on point. This is going to be a very close game.
Yeah.
Azrael getting thrown, but the beautiful portal from Medieval right there saves the big red machine from going down.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Medivh provides a very, very good counterpoint to Garrosh's tossy behind the wall, because Medivh can get you out of anything if he's in the right position.
Very much so. And it was a beautiful example of that right there. See the Attainment Strike coming out of the Ariel, checking that bush. And Diablo already starts the shrine. And Base God's taking an early lead in the minion count.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to run in on this team early, especially with Varian still being a bit weak. We saw the damage that can get applied so quickly from base gods. They're probably a little hesitant, but we see the toss go down on the Malthael. The portal comes down and the protection comes through. Malthael's fine. He teleports back through on the gate, and then Diablo charges in and gets the stun on Varian, or on Garrosh. Garrosh is trying to move out. Bandito taking a ton of damage as well. He'll have to disengage. Lunara trying to apply those poisons and keep the damage up, but she's all by herself at this point with just her and Ariel, and she can't afford to go in on a team of 5.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And that was just beautifully played from Base Gods right there. And they do get the first Punisher of the game, and it's an Arcane Punisher. So they're going to be looking to burst this down in a hurry. We might see some aggressive play right there, like this lurking arm coming out. But we do see, the Malthael go in. He really wants this kill, and he's got the sustain to get it right now. Speed Demon in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage from that Reaper's Mark, but this may lead to 2 deaths. No,
well, this
or
is the
not.
benefit about having a Medivh. Medivh can get you out of those slippery situations, and you can afford to take risks. That risk didn't pay off for him, but I really respect the fact that they did it because they wanted to try and push some sort of advantage early, and they knew Medivh would be there to back that play.
Yeah, Lily is already back at the top, pushing this lane out. There's going to be a little bit of an experience loss on the side of Base Gods because of that, unless that Medivh can get there in a hurry. It does look like he's going to be up there in time to soak and maybe bully this Lily off a little bit.
Lily cannot be bullied. Are you kidding me? She already put some pressure on Malthael right away, forcing Malthael to go back and well tap. But this is the thing with Lily. She can very, very, very much apply this sort of constant nagging pressure that just feels overwhelming when she's never losing health.
Yeah, this is very true. And but I mean, to be honest, a few quick swipes out of that Malthael, and Lily loses about half her life.
Oh yeah, for sure. Lily's low on resources right now with her mana, but the long game definitely doesn't favor Malthael. You're always put in a position where you have to back before her. She hasn't even well tapped, and he already has, but probably focused on them enough. There's a lot of action going down in the bottom and mid lanes. We've got the siege camp pushing for base gods on the mid lane and for Snitches Get Stitches.
It does look like that Snitches Get Stitches will have their camp cleaned up first, thanks to the right clicks from Diablo and the lurking arm of Stukov just there. And we got this next shrine spawning top, and well, Snitches Get Stitches have got to be careful right here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to give up too much, but at the same time, you can't give away a free tower. And they get the grab and the toss on Diablo. Diablo's taking a lot of damage, but he's able to get in that portal and get topped off, and it's almost as if it never happened.
Yeah, this Medivh has just been absolutely on point. Obviously, he does go Master's Touch at 7, so he's looking to land as many Arcane Rifts as possible right now. The silence does get dropped, but Bandito gets charged on by the Varian, and the portal does come down to get some of his teammates out of danger, and they're just dancing around those portals so well right now. Bandito in danger from the Malthael, gets the shield, has to get out. He's probably going to go down. Yeah, I don't see him surviving this. Shield from Medivh again. He's not dead yet. How?
You gotta believe in Medivh. Greymane is diving on Speed Demon, trying to apply the damage, but he takes some himself and has to disengage. They still have control of the shrines at 22 to 10 minions, but Snitches Get Stitches trying to make a push and come back, putting as much damage as possible. These fights are a little different now that Lily's there with them. She's able to throw the blinds out and mitigate some of that damage. The shove goes in, and then Stukov goes down. He takes a lot of damage. Wow. The Malthael was being saved. Malthael's teleporting to and from the backline. He puts a bunch of damage on Varian, and Varian goes down. We got the Greymane getting protected by the Medivh and not being able to not take very much damage as he moves away, and they disengage and give up the shrine control for the time being to Snitches Get Stitches.
And we see Malthael does finish a quest of his. Waldo is about to go down, or is he? Oh, Diablo tries his best to save that Greymane just there, but it does look like Snitches Get Stitches will get this Punisher.
Yeah, Lily made all the difference being there that time for the team fight. It made it very hard for them to put enough damage on one target to get somebody to go down.
And now this is kind of a risky situation as Snitches Get Stitches will get tens first, and there goes Diablo going for a ride. The portal should be coming down. Diablo gets through it in time, and this Punisher is still getting lower and lower.
Yeah, the Punisher is getting a lot of value, though. You're very happy if you get one fort out of your Punisher, and it looks like Snitches and Get Stitches are indeed going to get that. But Base God's trying to push them off the fort, trying to lure the Punisher out so they can kill it. And I don't think they can save this fort, but they are able to mitigate any remaining pressure. And now they're looking to dive in with the Medivh portals.
Oh,
the Leyline Seal goes down, followed by the APOC. Two people eat the stun. Lunara taking a lot of damage. We see this team is coming online at 10. Diablo going in. He's trying to isolate either the Varian or the Alaric, but Garrosh comes in with the save, and the Detainment Strike goes out and pushes back the Stukov, preventing any shenanigans. But what a turnaround for Base Gods there.
Yeah, and during that whole team fight, Malthael ended up getting that bottom fort.
Being able to equalize is always very important. They obviously had a plan in place, leaving Malthael bottom to do just that.
Yeah, they did a great job equalizing that whole proceeding right there. You gotta love it when you're supposed to lose a fort and you can take a fort in return.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the more important aspects of Heroes that gets overlooked. You can't always defend a fort push, but what you can do is equalize it, and sometimes that's the better play.
Now, what I am afraid of right now on the side of Base Guys is that they're kind of forced to fight. Oh, Garrosh is going to go down in a hurry. He gets he throws the taunt out, gets Crystal Aegis.
Crystal.
Nice. The Water Dragon does come out, but he ends up getting the shield, so no damage onto him. The Tormented Souls is coming out doing so much work. The Varian does go down, and Lily looks like she's next on the list. Some panda meat for lunch for Greymane. She goes down. She's going to go adventure her way to the graveyard, and it looks like Majesty is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the APOC combo. She is going to get exploded, and that was Guado gets thrown over. I don't think he's going to make it out.
No, the portal didn't come down quite in time. He was already quite hit up to be taking tower damage and damage from Lunara and Garrosh. So a lucky turnaround there for SGS because things looked really bad there.
Yeah.
Base God's still coming out on top, but at least they were able to trade a kill there.
So what I was saying earlier about my fears for Base Guys is that they're kind of forced to fight around APOC. Because the ley line isn't nearly as effective without that following it up, because that's almost a guaranteed stun on anybody it hits. So, but we do see Snitches Get Stitches already inside that shrine area, going up 14. Oh, nice stun, counter stun by the Ariel right there. Tame the Strike, landing on that Shrine Spire.
And most teams keep track of cooldown counters, so I assume they know they have about 35 seconds without the APOC combo, and they take advantage of it, putting a ton of damage on Malthael. The Detainment Strike goes down, traps Diablo. We see the Flailing Swipe go out for the disengage. Diablo's trying to get out, but they're putting a lot of damage. Medivh gets the protect on him. Medivh's going to have to drop a portal sooner. Diablo is going to go down. There's the protection. There's the portal. It goes on the wrong side for him to get out, though, because Diablo got pulled out over, and he goes down.
Lunara trying to run down this Greymane, but Lily deciding to try to be a bigger bully, ends up trying to run her down, and they just kind of reset. And I believe this shrine is also going to go to Snitches Get Stitches. Yeah, they're just going to concede the shrine. They grab their summoner camp, and the defense is going to have to be godlike on this one.
Yeah, they successfully bait the Infernal over the wall, but the wall doesn't stand up there very long, and Malthael's taking a ton of damage. We see Master's Leyline Seal go out. The Apex a little late, but it still catches everybody. Malthael goes down in the process, though, because of all the damage, the poison damage he had sustained from Jamster. Now we see them pushing along with this Infernal. The Infernal's doing a lot of damage to Waldo. Waldo's got to get out of there. Waldo gets the protection shield from Medivh, and Medivh gets out, and they're going to take the fort and probably be happy with that, because that Punisher is not long for this world.
Yeah, there's these fights are just coming out really tight. I'm not convinced Snitches Get Stitches are winning these convincingly. They're getting a key pick off, but during the shrine phases. But if base gods get their combo off, like there's no way. And they're, as you see, they're just afraid of the Medivh.
Yeah, that's the problem. The blow up potential on base gods is huge, and
Oh,
Snitches
they're
Get
going
Stitches have been
in.
playing.
And Garage says, "No, you're not."
Yeah. Back to my point, Snitches Get Stitches have done a very good job in team fights, not allowing themselves to really be isolated enough for that key pickoff, and just kind of taking what they have in the Lily and Ariel, knowing they need to make these fights last as long as possible, because they'll come out the longer the longer the engage goes on.
Yeah, the double support is really coming in handy right now with the Ariel and the Lily, but I fear as this goes on that gap is going to get less and less, especially when it comes around 16 time and Diablo has access to overpower, giving himself a second shadow charge.
Yeah, and we see some great Medivh play, by the way. It doesn't get talked about a lot, but Medivh's ability to provide vision is probably the best aspect of Medivh, especially when you have a hero like Diablo and Greymane and Malthael who are looking to dive on people. Having vision of where they at so you can be kind of familiar with what's going to happen when you initiate, very, very helpful.
Yeah, the Medivh play has just been incredible at this point.
Yes, and we see that all the heroic talents are up for all members of each team. Greymane's taking a lot of damage. We see the portal come down, saving Diablo and Greymane. That was dicey there for a second.
But they did manage to make Lily burn her water dragon just now, so that's going to be down for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's very important. Water Dragon does have a short cooldown, and it gets even shorter if she takes fast feet at 20, but for now, it's still going to probably be online for this team fight, but they're going to have to worry about this blow-up combo that's been so prevalent. They really have to watch the leyline seals and not get caught in a big one.
Oh, there's a stun onto Diablo, followed up by the dunk. A leyline seal onto 3. It's going to be a little late, though. Oh, a nice save onto the Diablo. The shield comes out. They're gonna be so much depth just now. But the heal from Ariel is just so clutch. Lily's trying to get out. The Master's Touch doing its work, but there's just not enough damage on the side of Snitches Get Stitches just now. Or I'm sorry, on the side of base guys, and Malthael ends up going down. Varian was in a bit of a pickle just there, but manages to get out.
We're seeing some very
Fry.
smart play by Snitches Get Stitches. As the engage happens, you see Lunara drift off to the side and work her way around to the back of the team line, able to focus down heroes that are out of position or are squishy. And she was applying that poison to Varian, she was applying it to Malthael, and she was applying it to Greymane. And they were never able to really truly commit to the engage because of the way Lunara was playing. Heads up move by Jamster.
Yeah, we're being corrected on our pronunciation. It is J Fry.
J Fry?
J Frail.
J Frail?
So.
For who? I don't see anybody with that name.
I don't know.
Yeah, so. That's what you get for reading chat during the commentary. Anyways, we got the Punisher bearing down on base gods. Base gods in a very, very sticky situation right now. They lure the Punisher over, but the wall's already down, and you see Speed Demon coming in, looking for that isolation play, trying to grab somebody and throw him back to his team. Bandito with the shield wall able to come up and try and apply that pressure to the keep. The Arcane Punisher is about to go down, and it doesn't look like they can stick around and try and get the keep. We got Malthael diving on the backline, putting a ton of damage on Lunara. Lunara focused and is going down right away. Speed Demon is looking to be next. He's taking a lot of damage. Ariel's trying to keep him up with the Lily there. Greymane throws the cocktail down in pursuit, trying to catch up and get a dive on one of these heroes. Malthael is going to put down the portal, and he's going to come in on this Lily, the flailing swipe there, trying to disrupt her, but he misses the globe, and it's going to allow Lily the chance to roam free, but she is getting pinned down by Diablo. Diablo's putting a lot of damage on the team, coming in and making sure that Lily goes down. What a sequence there for Base Gods.
Oh, and not even Garrosh is safe at this point. Portal's going to come in. Diablo runs in, takes him to Suplex City, and yeah, this fort is gone.
Yeah, definitely. Base Gods with a 4v1 trade there, able to take out everybody but Ariel, and Ariel's just going to have to hang back and clear a lane while they lose this fort.
Yeah, that was an incredible turnaround on the side of Base Gods just now, and that puts them, I feel, in a kind of a commanding position at this point. And
well, they're getting aggressive and taking this fort, and I think that's what you need to do because you know that they can't respond. They got 15 seconds till Garrosh is up, and you suddenly wrestle control away from Snitches Get Stitches at the 18-minute mark when you've been behind this whole game. I don't blame you. Things are looking great for Base Gods.
And nice aggressive play coming out of Base Gods just now. They're going to take this aggressive siege camp, and that's just really good timing on the side of Base Gods.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of value, and I got a lucky spawn in the shrine as well because that one will go mid lane, I believe.
Yep.
And that is the lane you currently have a little bit of pressure on. Now, Snitches Get Stitches is realizing that, making sure that they clear that pressure out before the shrine goes live because you don't want to have to deal with that. And obviously, Base Gods went down bottom and took that. I'm sorry, they took that siege camp as well, so that's also going to be applying pressure while this shrine phase is going on, creating an awkward situation for Snitches.
Yeah, this is oh, that's a bad look right there. Oh, that could have been a lot worse. Taunt onto the Diablo just now, but the Leyline Seal does come out. Oh, here comes the APOC Jamster. It's just going to get, oh, nice Crystal Aegis onto Jamster, but it's not going to save his life. Bandito is in a lot of trouble. Does get a heal. Speed Demon gets slammed up against the wall. Diablo says, here, hold this wall to Garrosh. Yeah. And they're just going to pursue this. Bandito's like, let me behind my gate. Diablo's like, nope.
Yeah, Diablo made sure that he wasn't going anywhere. Diablo, the master of the stuns and the body blocks, with his big, thick frame and the ability to always have that charge ready to go. Yeah. Now we see that Base Gods is just going to go ahead and take this temple while Greymane backs to take care of the pressure top lane to ensure that they don't lose any more life on this keep.
And that was a really timely back by Waldo just there to, stop that summoner camp from finishing that keep off, and because this Punisher is there, this Base Gods.
Yeah. And the last thing you want to deal with is giving up free catapults to your opponent when they can be prevented, because catapults provide a very unique form of pressure in which they always, once you have them and the other lane doesn't, you have control of that lane. So, very, very good play by Waldo there.
Yeah.
No surprises. They were able to easily clear out the minions. Nobody died at the shrine. That was good.
And we do have Storm Talents on the side of Base Guys. We've got the Hellgate coming out from Diablo. Controlled Chaos, Medivh Cheats, Reaper of Souls, and Hunter's Blunderbuss coming out. And the Leyline Seal comes out. Medivh's going to cheat here a little bit. The stun barely misses, but there is Malthael in the back line just getting work done with that Reaper of Souls. Spectrorama does go down on the Lily. She's out of the picture. That's one healer down. Diablo almost dies and gets a friendly portal out. What is this Punisher doing?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know why the Punisher is walking into the... I don't know. This is ridiculous. I've never seen this before. Blizzard, please fix. Anyways, we got a lot of damage going out, and Varian goes down as well. Ariel goes down. Base Gods looking to put an end to this, and the Punisher finally got what it wanted, apparently. It just wanted to kill somebody by there.
The Punisher bait. The Punisher baited Lunara. Like, hey, I'm acting stupid. Come on, it's safe to walk by me.
That was the most ridiculous ending I've ever seen. I couldn't even call it yet. Great job by Base Gods, though. They were out of it most of the game. They waited for their moment, and they got that big clutch combo off on the team when it really counted, and they were able to execute